Next on board, we have an interview with Nick Ramponi, a.k.a. PureCash25.
He's probably one of the sickest heads-up sit-and-go players on the internet. He is on the top of the leaderboards right now on SharkScope, and he has a lot of success playing 1,000, 5,000, 2,000 sit-and-goes, heads-up, no limit. And he plays against some of the top players online, and he has some really good stuff to share with us.
Check it out.
Hello?
What's up, Nick? This is Jeremy.
How you doing, man?
Thank you so much for being our first guest. It's an honor. First off, what do you think about Phil Ivey making the final 9?
That is amazing. I was actually down there yesterday watching because one of my buddies, Nick, FU15 Online, was still in the final 3 tables, and we were down there railing him. Of course, he had Ivy seated right on his left at the feature table, so not the best seed job, but yeah, it was amazing. It was fun just to watch Ivy do his thing. Every time he would even just raise pre-flop and take it down, like the whole crowd just burst into cheers. It was pretty fun. I've never seen so much cheering for like a pre-flop raise before. I guess it's Ivy, like it gets people going. So yeah, it was really exciting, and I think it's just gonna be nothing but great for poker. I mean,
yeah, definitely.
Yeah, now people will finally be able to be some teeth behind the argument that like if there's less luck, and you know the pros can rise to the top. You know, even in the biggest fields and stuff, so I think that's going to be great time for poker.
Right on. So when you first started playing online, Nick, how much did you first deposit in your account?
Truth be told, I never did deposit. I actually was just playing like the play money with some buddies. I mean, it started freshman year of college. We all went off to different colleges. And we were all playing home games before that. We wanted to keep it going, and the only way we could do that was by just playing on the same play money table online. And so we would do that, and then eventually we discovered like free rolls and stuff on Full Tilt, and we would just all sign up for the free roll like every night, or not every night, but like a lot of nights.
That's awesome.
And I ended up winning the free roll one time for a whopping $5, and then just kind of parlayed that up all the way up, and early on I didn't have much margin for error, but somehow managed to not go bust out and just worked it up to where I'm at today without depositing. So it's pretty cool, I guess.
Wow.
I saw in your Pocket Fives profile it says your proudest accomplishment is winning $5 in that free roll. That you're
that's exactly why. Because that's how I got my start. And, I don't know if to this day that was one of my favorite poker memories, if not absolute favorite. Just because that's when playing the game was just pure fun, and there wasn't any strings attached as far as money or rankings or comparing yourself to your peers. It was just playing for the love of playing, and so I don't know. Then of course that's where I got my start. So that's definitely my favorite win.
Right on, man. Did you apply any bankroll rules while you with the $5, or were you just playing your own game?
Well, I mean, initially, I would just sit down with $2 at a cash game and double up and then leave, and then go to another table and buy in for $2 more because I didn't have any margin for error, so I was being extra careful. And every 10-cent blind steal was huge to me. So, but I mean, after I got a little bit of cushion, I was always pretty good about using bankroll management. But I mean, there was always times when I'd go on till and I'd find myself, sitting with like $400 of my $500 on a 5-10 game, and I just end up blowing it. But I'd always be sure to leave myself a little bit to rebuild with if my shot didn't work out, which none of them ever did. So I always was perpetually rebuilding. But yeah, I mean, especially now, I'm pretty good about bankroll stuff. I don't play anything out of my league, I would say, and yeah, I've always been pretty good about that. So.
Right on, man. Right on.
So you never added, after that $5 that you won in the free roll, you never added more money on, or you never made a deposit or got a transfer from a friend to keep you alive?
No, I just built it up from there, and then eventually I wanted to play on PokerStars too. So I had a decent amount of Full Tilt, and I just found someone to trade with, and we just swapped money on the sites. And so I guess I got a transfer on Stars, but I mean I never deposited, and it wasn't like it was all pure profit that I was playing with. So yeah, it's pretty good. No matter even if I'm up $1 from poker, that's all profit because I've never deposited anything.
You started off with sit and goes, you said?
Well, I started off with a little bit of everything. Actually, basically pretty much started off playing cash games, just 25 cent, 50 cent, stuff like that. And then I played tournaments when I had time to spend 6 hours at it. And then I played random sit and goes here and there. I kind of did a little bit of everything. As I developed, tournaments definitely became my favorite. And when I had time, I would always play tournaments. I feel like I got pretty good at those. And then kind of by chance, I started playing like heads up sit and goes. And I just, the reason why I did was because I was frustrated getting like second in like tournaments. Like I got second in the 1K Monday, and like that was for 50K and first was 80K. So I was essentially playing a 30K heads up match, and it didn't sit well losing that match. So I kind of started just working on my heads up game. Started playing sit and goes, had immediate success at those, and just stuck with it, and that's kind of become my main thing. And the other thing that's appealing about those is, you can it takes 15 minutes. You don't have to invest like a 6-hour chunk of your day in a tournament.
And then bubble.
You can just sit down and play for 30 minutes, or as long as you want. You have that flexibility. So I really like that.
Heads up sit and goes in general. What are like some of the biggest mistakes you see players make that are just obvious?
That's a good question. I think. The thing is there's not often a lot of glaring mistakes, but there's such a, I don't know, it's such a quick thing, such a structure that such a short stack structure, in the sense that the stacks aren't deep at all, and so like anything you do, like any mistake, like there's okay, I'm not saying that very well, but there's like a lot of little things that add up, and you just have to master like all these little nuances. Obviously bet sizing is key, like pre-flop, post-flop, like there's often, like never reason to make more than a minimum raise pre-flop, or post-flop, like, betting half the pot is just fine, whereas if you're playing a cash game, you're going to be betting closer to full pot, and so stuff like that. But there's just a lot of little nuances that come into play, and I just feel like I do a real good job of picking up on those, and kind of picking up on them like a lot quicker than my opponents, and whoever is the first to like anticipate what's going to happen or how the dynamics are going to change is going to have the most success, and I feel like that's where I excel. So it's just a lot of little things, basically. There's nothing huge. If I had to pick one thing, I would say bet sizing, though.
Wow, that's really interesting. The great thing about heads up play is that it's true poker. You can't just bring a standard strategy to the table. Like if you go and play a 1-2 no limit or 3-5 no limit game at a casino with 10 people at the table, you can pretty much stick exactly to one strategy, and it doesn't even matter who's at the table at those stakes, and you can be a consistent winner. But if you play heads up, you have to be able to adjust to your opponents, and you have to be a better poker player.
Right, I definitely agree with that. Like I feel like a lot of people will just sit down at like a tournament, 9-handed, and they'll basically just hide behind the other players and wait for the good hands. But if you're playing heads up, there's just no way you can wait around. You're forced into action, and that's what I like about it, because for one thing, like it's more entertaining to be playing more hands. Another thing, like it's fun to get your opponents out of their comfort zone when they're maybe not as used to or as proficient at playing more of these hands.